but what's the most upsetting, disgusting person you've ever done an expose on?
I mean, I filmed in person with Chris Chan prior to the arrest. So as I'm working on like a giant 5-hour-long Chris Chan documentary, I don't know how to end it. And then the news came out that fateful day, and me and my team.
Trans associate of Mr. Beast. Am I?
No, this is a different guy. That's Chris from Mr. Beast.
Chris Chan Sonichu.
You be careful with that medallion; it'll curse you.
I just met with Chris Chan again a couple of months ago for a follow-up documentary, and
pardon my flashness.
And she gave me a custom Chris Chan Sonichu medallion with like a special eye on the back of it. So I haven't worn it.
I don't know anything about Chris Chan.
Chris Chan is the person who got arrested for supposedly raping his own mother. Chris Chan is there's a great police activity video. I always steer you guys back there.
Yeah,
of Chris Chan.
It was very funny. I watched that one.
and the cops are in his. It's a trans person, but it's like very clearly like a masculine trans person, but. We got some kind of sonic chew, and she keeps talking about invisible people who aren't in the room, who she's married to, like characters. It's like she's like, I don't remember what they were, but she's like, oh yeah, I'm married to like Knuckles and fucking Tails, and they're here in the room.
Charmander, yeah.
Can you feel Charmander?
Chris Chan saying these things?
Yeah. To the cops. The cops in cuffs on a bed in their own motel. They're confirming the warrant, and she's just like, did you feel that? And the cop's like, what? My husband Knuckles just slapped you. He's like, no, I didn't feel that. Hit him harder, baby. And this is, obviously there's an invisible person there, but outside fans have started to gather and they're yelling like, free Chris Chan.
Yeah, that's even Ralph filmed that.
Is that Chris Chan there?
That's Chris Chan.
Chris Chan grew up as a boy.
Chris Chan. So the story behind Chris Chan is that he was born in the 80s. He was originally named Christopher, but when he was 10 years old, an animatronic bear at the mall called him Christian instead of Christopher. So he started referring to himself as Christian, and his parents were very religious. So they thought it was like a sign from God. So they legally had his name changed from Christopher to Christian because they thought it was like Jesus telling him. So from there, he lived as Christian for many years and grew up, and then found the internet in like 2007 and proceeded to be the most trolled person of all time online, with his own wiki having over 10,000 articles, I believe, at this point. And when he was around 35, I believe, right after his father died, he transitioned to become a woman. Is now Christine.
When did the alleged sexual assault or whatever go down?
So this is what I wonder if it was alleged, the charges were dropped mainly because the courts just didn't want to deal with the situation, and it was like a time served almost thing where she was in prison for pretty much 2 years, and then they just let her out because she has a manager in real life that basically was able to find her housing that was not with her mother to get out of prison. So now when they said, okay, we have an apartment for her to be at and a way to make money by selling medallions online, that the courts were like, fine, just as long as she's living on her own, we're gonna just drop this and move on.
Because the mother's like not well, right?
Mother's in their 80s, and she's not in the best mental state. There was actually a sighting of his mother her mother for the first time in a while. Chris Chan made a homemade Kamala Harris for president sign and posted it in his mother's front yard. And in the background, you zoom in really close and you see her mom like looking out one of the windows.
Can you see the disappointment in her eyes despite the dementia?
Do we know?
All I remember is I hate my son.
Is Chris Chan serving prison time with men or women?
So that was a big thing. Tucker Carlson actually covered the story when it first came out, because I think at some point she was in a female facility, but she was bounced around a lot. And at one point she was in a mental institution before they brought her back to the county jail. So it was all over the place. From my understanding, for the most part, it was more of a solitary confinement sort of thing, where she wasn't in the general population at any facility she was at. And when she was, it was like supervised. Someone was always there seeing.
It seemed, I mean, you obviously know so much more about the Chris Chan lore. What was the made up, this is old Chris Chan now, what was the name of his like made up sexuality? That was like, he defined it as he was into boyfriend-free girls.
When he was at the community college, where it took him like 4 years to get a 2-year degree, I believe, he set up a sign for himself to get a girlfriend, and it had all of the listings. I mean, speaking of Tinder, this is like pre-Tinder. He was ahead of his time. It was looking for a boyfriend-free girl, must have a car, must be between like 18 and 21 years of age, and at the bottom it said like no blacks or something like that.
Yeah, it's like must be white. Like he was.
Then there was this woman, Mary Lee Walsh, who was working at the college as like a facility head, and she took his sign and like ripped it up. And then Chris Chan made Mary Lee Walsh in Soul Calibur as a custom character, and then he made himself a custom character, and then beat the crap out of Mary Lee Walsh in the game. And that was his first ever upload to YouTube, where the 4chan first found him.
It's such an anomaly, such an OG lolcow. I didn't know anything about Chris Chan until Taylor introduced me.
That's so surprising to me.
Some of the I don't like the most awful degenerate parts of the internet. Like Chris Chan belongs right there next to 2 Girls, 1 Cup and shit like that. It's like a
OG.
Fucked up OG nasty. And at some point you wonder how legitimate it is.
He's the original lolcow.
Yes.
Although the way you know it's real, in my opinion, is I don't think that Chris was putting on a performance for those cops with body cams. You were getting real deal, like legitimate Chris Chan. That's just how he farts at one point. And he's like, "Oh, excuse my flatulence." Yes. And it's like such a weird fucking thing to say. Like, what do you say to that? Like, bro, just let it.
Dude, the way the cops responded to because if you saw the clip, Woody, the cops are in this hotel room and they're like, "All right, just so you know, you are under arrest. Like, we're going to stay here for you." And Chris is sitting there like, "Oh, I'm just worried there's going to be so many trolls. There's going to be so many trolls out there. The internet's going to have a heyday. It's going to have a heyday with this. So many trolls." And the cops are clearly like, "Oh, really? That's so fascinating. Keep telling me about your made up reality of nonsense." And then like, as they're parading him out to go get arrested.
No, before that,
dozens of people are yelling like, Chris, free Chris Chan. Yelling from a parking lot. Like, this hasn't even been announced yet. It's just people who track what Chris Chan's doing. And the cops are like on body cam being like, he wasn't lying. This is the wildest thing I've never been on a call like this. He's a real internet creator? Like, really? Very funny.
It's really gross. Apparently, like the story was that he was sexually abusing his dementia-ridden mother. And it's like, that's like the worst thing you can do. That's worse than pedophilia, if you ask me. Like, that's horrific.
The one thing that should be stated about the claim that he did that was there was a troll named Isabella Loretta Jenke that her end goal was to have Chris commit suicide. She was... The claim Chris makes is that he never did anything, or she never, sorry, I misgendered. She never did anything. It gets very confusing. She never did anything, but she coerced him into saying those things. So I don't know what the truth is, but that's his defense of it. It's not real. He says that it never happened.
This is a person that believes in entities that are invisible, and they're also, he was explaining, all right, what it sounded like he was explaining was some sort of a multiverse.
Yeah, So the explanation of the multiverse is Chris Chan, his parents were very dysfunctional growing up, so he obsessed over just cartoons like Pokemon and playing Sonic the Hedgehog, and that was like almost his reality. I'm kind of giving my philosophy and opinion on it.
No, I appreciate that, because we're not insane.
Yeah, so this is my angle. Like, not even other people might say this, but this is what I learned, or at least my summary. So he just, when his parents were messed up around him, he just fixated in on the cartoons and obsessed over making his own characters and stuff. And as he grew older, he just kept on doing it and kept on making his own comics with Sonichu and all these characters and watching Family Guy, and just there's this amalgamation of all the things he liked in his escapism. And then at a certain point around like 8 years ago, I would say, there was this group of trolls called the Idea Guys that convinced Chris Chan that Quickville, the town that Sonichu lived in, was like a real place and there was actually another dimension. So now he believes that like he's the reincarnation of Jesus, and like at some point the dimensions are going to merge together, and he's going to be the next coming of Christ, and the owner of Kiwi Farms is Judas.
The merging of the universes is what he was trying to explain to these cops who are hauling him off in handcuffs, by the way. And I don't mean to misgender the person, but it's like
it's confusing, especially when you're jumping on the timeline too.
But also because the person is like, I think probably a troll and mentally ill. So like I don't know if this is a legitimate transsexual person. I think it might just be a wackadoo. But anyway, Chris was explaining that all of your favorite characters, I like Sonichu, and they're like, "What the fuck is Sonichu?" it's like I took Sonic and Pikachu and I melded them into one in my mind, and that now it's real. And then Sonichu and like whatever you like, the Terminator, like all of those fictional things have their own real universes, he believes, and they're going to merge and coexist. So we will exist alongside Sonic and the Hedgehog. We will exist alongside Pikachu. And will exist alongside Sonichu. All three will be there simultaneously. With
kind of like a Terrence Howard style theory.
Terrence Howard makes way more sense.
Oh, he seems like a Rhodes Scholar compared to Chris Chan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a wackadoo, as you put it, just absolutely loony.
It's pretty sad though, because the earliest time you could see him talking about another dimension and Quickville being a real place is when his dog Patty died when he was like, I don't know, 25, and the dog was like 18 years old. And like in his writings about his dog's death, he like basically says like, "See you on the other side" in Quickville, and then he incorporated Patty into the Sonichu comics going forward, where he jumps over there and like Patty's still alive. So it's just like a coping mechanism all around that's just been corrupted by trolls who have taken advantage of it to get it to the point it's at today.
Yeah, he'd probably just have ended up being a weirdo on his own somewhere. But, the internet is a rough place when you behave that way and are that open with it.
It was the right person at the right place in the right time to cause Chris Chan to be like who he was. I would say that the biggest thing that makes a lolcow notable is that they're extremely gullible, but they're actually pretty competent as well. Because if you're just making fun of and messing with like a fully mentally incompetent person, like they probably won't even have the ability to use the internet.
Sure.
But also if a person's too smart, they're not going to fall for the trolls. You need someone like Chris Chan, who's actually, when he was in high school, he was designing websites and making comics and making Pokemon cards for himself. It was actually like pretty impressive. But at a certain point, he just like kind of stopped like growing with his art and his abilities. And, he desperately wanted a girlfriend, and he kind of fed into the fantasies of these trolls online who said that they were dating him, and he just went along with it.
Yeah. What's he doing now? Is he making content that people watch?
Medallions.
Yes. So he's making the medallions, making custom art pieces. A lot of them sell for like hundreds of dollars if you make something interesting. So Chris Chan has a manager who does everything for him in terms of like shipping things out and making sure she gets the work done on time. And that pays the bills and pays for the apartment and stuff like that. And she lives a fairly comfortable life when I went down to visit her. And also, I would say that she is a lot more mentally with it than she was 5 years ago when I first met her before COVID and before everything went down. So she told me she wasn't like on any medicine or anything, but I think she talked to a therapist.
Can I get a look at that medallion once more? Because I didn't know they existed.
So this is not I could go and get the real medallion. It's in my other closet. This is like a reproduction one that you could buy.
The one in the closet cannot be that funny. That's hilarious.
You want me to go get the other one?
Get the real one. Get the original cursed one.
I mean, that one looked like a child made it.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
that's the original. Something that's funny about Chris Chan is you'll see like the art style and drawings from like literally 20 years ago, and then ones from now. No progression in no progression. It's the exact same style of art 20 years later. Very funny.
That would be that would be a funny way to troll. Like, because sometimes I see on Reddit, they'll be like, this is me drawing a horse when I was in 8th grade. Right. This is me drawing a horse today. And it's like, holy shit, you're photorealistic these days, bro. This is art.
Okay, I got the
real one. It would be funny
here.
to do. This is Chris Chan's like drawing from the 8th grade. This is today, 28 years later. It's worse. It's more childlike.
So this is
that you have this.
The custom one that I got. This is a real one. It's not like a print of it. And then on the other side, you have the autograph, and then you have like this ball eye thing.
Jesus Christ.
It's like built in.
What does it say on the back?
It's just Jesus Christ Chan Sonichu. So it's an autograph from
He's
Jesus
signing
Christ.
himself as Jesus Christ Chan now.
Jesus Christ. I think it's like Jesus Christ Chan or something along those lines. Is the like long title.
Right.
Well, that's fucking.
Believing you're Jesus is one of the final steps in being crazy. Like,
You know what, Taylor, can I point out a little bit of hypocrisy here? Like, along the way, we're like, he thinks he's Jesus. Like, that's insane. He thinks that Sonichu's real. That's insane. He thinks he's a woman. Okay, well, that might be completely legitimate. That might be the thing where he's just cogent and he's thinking straight, and we shouldn't question that one bit.
Oh yeah, that's totally a real thing. Yeah.
So I will say that the signs of the transgenderism actually date back to high school. Some of his journals and stuff, he talks about like wearing like a fake bosom thing or something for like some home ed class.
Okay.
So there's like some early things, hints at it, and over time it just kind of progressed until after his father, who was very conservative, died. That's when it like just full out became the transgender angle.
So the Zach wanted us to bring up, and we'd be remiss not to. Can you fill us in on the medallion curse? Who's been tagged by it so far, and why you seemingly have no fear?
I have not worn that medallion, actually.
I wouldn't either.
I've worn the fake one. I do not wear the real one. Maybe I think I will just for like the documentary to film something. But yeah, so there's people such as Rakita Law and who else? I'm drawing a blank, but basically the concept is every single person who has a medallion and wears it, they have a downfall. So it's kind of another angle that I'm playing up with part 5 of my documentary that I'm releasing kind of like 3 years after the first 4 parts, is that Chris Chan isn't really getting involved in much drama anymore. But now people that are wearing the medallion and are obsessed with Chris Chan are now seeing themselves getting a downfall and getting destroyed if they put it on. So
that one looks so much better than yours.
They all look the same to me. Am I crazy? Like, there's not a lot of variety in these.
They're slightly different. Yeah, there's Buddha.
How?
These are all clearly very different.
The mouth is different.
This looks like the hamburger. This one to me looks like the hamburger helper glove. Fuck.
Well, here's the thing about the Chris Chan medallions is they're all homemade by Chris Chan, so they all look a little different. There's this guy named Gino Samuel who has the most known Chris Chan documentary that's like 100 hours long. It's just like every single tweet he's ever said is in it. And
you're telling me we haven't seen this one already?
No, they're all a little bit different.
Up, Art.
Each of them is clearly different. Can you really not tell the difference?
I'll hold both of them up.
They're 98% the same.
I mean, they are.
Yeah, like, but they're all.
How do you get
noticeably different? Yeah, how do you get past
it's
captions?
A challenge.
So this one's the official one from the Etsy store. That's like a reproduction, and this is a custom one that Chris Chan made just for me. Right here.
Night and day.
They're so different.
Here's the thing is, you joke, this thing is probably worth over $1,000 if I put it up on eBay right now. Like people would pay that. Yeah. So that's the thing that I've kind of been intrigued by is what is the value of Chris Chan artwork? If the original copy of Sonichu episode 1 went for sale, how much would it sell for on the open market? I think there's a possibility someone spends $100,000 on it. Art's worth what someone's willing to pay.
Is Chris Chan the kind of like weird person from the internet that you think could get away with like selling bathwater?
Someone would buy it.
Bring that picture back up. There was a mouse pad at the top, and I want to make sure I was seeing that correctly. What the fuck is that? Is that Wojak red mouse pad? What the fuck? What's being sold there?
That was Etsy, right? I assume.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was. Yep, that's exactly what I thought it was. Yep, I like that.
Made one of those.
I'm getting that right now. I need that. That's gonna help me for Tarkov. I'm gonna give the click on the meds better.
Yeah, I've never read through the Chris Chan comics, but like I've watched enough of the videos on him to have a gist of all of his nonsense. But like you said, the meme video series is I don't recall who you said made it, but like it's literally 100 parts.
Yeah, Gino Samuel made his, and his was before mine. And my original concept of why I reached out for Chris is like most people are not going to watch 100 hour-long documentary, so let me make a more concise one with like in-person footage of me like meeting the legend in real life. But the thing with Geno Samuel, which is interesting, is that he started selling his own reproduction medallions of Sonichu, and like Chris Chan's pissed off about it.
Of course, it's his character.
And like people are going to convention centers like for Comic Cons, and they have Chris Chan Sonichu booths where they're selling bootleg Sonichu merchandise, which is funny because one of the original trolls back in 2008 was them claiming that this British guy was selling bootleg Sonichu merchandise in Europe without his permission, and Chris Chan went berserk on it. And it, like, you go step forward 15 years in the future, and people are actually doing just that. It's not a troll. There's actually value on this, and people pay for it.
Didn't he also, I don't remember the full story, but it was like 10, 15 years ago, he became enraged by Nintendo or whoever owns Sonic, like changing the color of his outfit. And so he like went to a GameStop and like threw a tantrum, like coloring the color he liked on the cover of the boxes.
Yeah, so I would say that was around 2014 era. Chris Chan was upset that Sonic, one of the Sonic games, I can't remember off the top of my head, they changed the colors of Sonic's arms, and that enraged him. And Chris Chan made a Facebook group protesting it, and he ended up going to the GameStop, I believe, to recolor the arms of the little paper cutout of the new Sonic the Hedgehog, and he then proceeded to get told to leave by the associates there, and he then he didn't like that, so he maced them on the way out and fled. And he went. Oh, here's the other part.
I love watching Woody react to each step of that.
He went to the mall with his mom. His mom was shopping elsewhere. His 70-year-old mother at this point, and he went to the GameStop. He goes, maces the employee, flees the mall in his car, and leaves his mom stranded at the mall.
Based?
This is a crazy person. But yeah. I guess everyone knows this but me, right? But I'm like, this person literally needs to be institutionalized. I had sympathy for them at first, but now like this is a danger to society.
Again,
what's he gonna do? Color some cartoon posters somewhere?
Well, he might do something really untoward with his mom. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, and that's none of our business. For all we know, his mom's into that sort of thing. All right, who's judge? Who's the judge? Who's the judge?
A demented old woman wants that.
Yeah, that's how do you get in the mind of a demented old woman?
You don't. You can't. They're demented.
They're horny.
Fleeting.
I'm gonna tell you what I know. They're horny all the time.
You think so?
I know so. I've been volunteering.
You're trolling at the local retirement homes.
I've been volunteering. We play a little checkers, and then we go in the back and play a different game.
Has he done? I'm drawing a blank, but I know there's been other violent stuff, right?
Yeah. There was another time where Chris Chan was warring with a local game room place where like people were like playing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh card games, Magic the Gathering. He was at some point kicked out and banned from the location, and Chris believed that it was under new ownership at a certain point. So him and his mother went there to see if it was new ownership. The original owner was there. He's like, get out of here. And Chris on the way out like hits him with his car and then flees the scene. And,
hits his person?
Hits this guy. Yeah,
hits GameStop with his car, vehicular.
It wasn't GameStop. It was like a card trading place. So yeah, he hits the guy with his car, flees the scene, and then I believe that they ended up spending all of the inheritance money from the father after he died to like pay the legal fees with some lawyer.
Circling back to what could he do? Right, that we have our answer.
Well, I didn't know he was going to do like a vehicular assault. Like that's crazy. You hit a person with a car. I see people do that online, and I'm like, that's a deadly weapon. You know what? You know it is because of how cops react when a guy drives a car in their general direction. They murder him. They shoot him so many times in the head that he can't think anymore.
Did you watch the Tyreek Hill stuff much?
All right, so I just saw clips of it. Here's the thing. I'm a hypocrite, and I'm like, leave him alone. He plays ball. So if it was
or if he had been a musician,
or if one of the good ones. I'm like, leave him the fuck alone. He's driving into the stadium that was built for him. You pieces of shit. And they're all like chubby white dudes wearing those brown uniforms and those silly hats or helmets or whatever. Was it justified or not? Because I didn't. That stuff enrages me when it's not justified. So I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, I was watching some of your videos before the episode tonight. Hard to watch multiple of your videos in a short time frame because they're very in depth and they're long. I started on the Chris Chan one, and like all Chris Chan documentaries, I get sad when I'm watching it, and it just the absolute devastation that he wreaks around himself and his life kind of depresses me. Chris Chan? Oh my goodness, Tom, take it away.
I love how out of the loop Woody always is with like anything. Like, by the way, I'm like a fan of the show. I've been watching you guys since you had Medicare on like 5 years ago. So I've been
hell yeah
in it. Okay, Woody. So Chris Chan is like a really cool guy. Big YouTube channel, famous dude, lots of donos. I mean, in all seriousness, I think he's probably, people call him like the most documented person in history next to like Hitler. He's like she Zur is an autistic individual who people have been following online for like 15 years or so. If you're familiar with the website Kiwi Farms, the whole inception of that site was to follow Chris Chan, and came from a mispronunciation of CWC forums. Chris is most known for an original character called Sonichu, which is a combination of Sonic and Pikachu, kind of morphed into one. It's like a original piece of art. The
Sonichu pendant.
It's quite beautiful.
Wearing, if you can.
I believe Chris sells those on Etsy or something now, but so there's just like someone who people have like sort of a weird fascination with, probably to an unhealthy degree, I would say, but they have for a very long time. Notable stuff is like their love quest, where they would go to college with like a sign about it would be like, requirements for a girlfriend must be like this amount of height, this weight, can't smoke, can't drink, must be white, I think was another requirement. So pretty, interesting standards for this guy.
I think he was posting that like on the bulletin board.
Was that like a before and after? Like what happened to him?
This is a pre and post transition.
So I don't know what are we supposed to call him? He or she?
It depends. A lot of people don't say she, because Chris said the reason that he became female was to get with girls. It was like kind of a ploy, but it's really like up to interpretation.
Yeah, does that work? Because high school Woody needs some advice.
There's a surprising amount of people that are pining for Chris Chan. You would be surprised. So there are a few supposedly that things have gone down.
Yeah, G is a faker. A mother faker, seemingly. That's ridiculous. Yeah, he did so much ridiculous, absurd shit that is just the most recent thing he was accused of doing. Actually, wait, wasn't he convicted of molesting his mother?
So he was arrested for it, and then they dropped the charges, and he's out now. So I don't really know what the deal is there. But there's a video of him talking about it over like Discord. There's like
I hate that.
Yeah, it's not good.
No one likes it. Everyone's come down against him. No, he doesn't have anyone in his corner for this.
No.
Yeah, anytime you talk in absolutes, you're wrong.
Yeah, there is some ghoul out there who's like, give him hell, Chris.
It's Woody. It's Woody.
It's just Woody.
Yeah, catching strays over here. Ghoul
I'm shocked that neither of you know who Chris Chan is, given how long you've been on the internet.
I've heard of Christians before.
Yeah, not this.
well, like I know that he's a lol cow. I know that, and I'm just not interested in those. Like I know that there's, I don't like going down those creepy rabbit holes.
It's quite depressing.
Because it's always depressing and depraved, and it's like, then you can't believe what he did next. It's like, I don't know, man. He probably started eating doo-doo or something. What do you do? You're not gonna blow my mind with this. He's gonna be as depraved and as awful as the mind can imagine, I'm sure. And I won't be surprised. It's like, he molested his mother, and I'm like, all right, you got me. Was she alive? Now, hang on. Was she alive during and after the molestation? He didn't molest.
She is still with us to this day.
So he's just a motherfucker. He's not a okay.
Yes.
Well,
how hot's his mom?
She's like an 80-year-old with dementia that lived with no one but him. And he's
answer the question, Taylor. How hot is
her? She's a baddie. Pull up a picture. She's a baddie.
Absolutely.
That's what a 1 is. That when you talk about the actual scale, a 1 has to exist if a 10 does. And I give you that Chris Chan's mom is a 1, an 80-year-old crippled woman with dementia.
Yeah.
I think all women are beautiful. I think you guys are being a little bit bigoted right now. I think she's
we do that.
Stunning. No. She's stunning.
Why are there pictures? Why are there pictures of her?
If you saw that in your Instagram DMs, you wouldn't be like, damn, shouty. Damn.
I'm digging that finger in the electrical plug.
Why do we have a picture of her?
Because this guy like documents himself doing these things.
Yeah.
Like Chris Chan will do something reprehensible and be like, check out what I've been up to. And then
the reason people know this happened is because he talked about it.
Yeah.
I knew that happens, but I didn't know that it's like happened to the extent where like, and this is a picture of his mom.
Oh my God.
Like it's so weird.
Can you pull up
that animation
that picture of Chris Chan's mom again?
Don't do that. I feel like we shouldn't.
Yeah, the poor old lady.
No, not that one. The real one.
Don't show the victim.
Don't
the
show
victim.
the victim.
She's a legend.
Oh my God.
Well, she can't allege it. She is demented, and so he was.
We're 6 minutes in.
He was only caught.
Pull the
Zim was only caught because Z posted it.
Z.
Yeah.
Herself. Z posted it herself.
Was there any time when you were making the Chris Chan documentary that you had to step back and be like, "This, I need to maybe go to church," something like that?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty disturbing. It's like a lot of showering. You can tell I haven't showered recently. I just got back from the gym, but yeah, it's a dark video. It's a dark video, bro. But something about it, I just have that fucked up morbid curiosity where.
So let me ask you
interest.
Let me ask you this, because maybe why hasn't you said the charges were dropped? It would seem that there might be enough evidence if he's discussing is he still her guardian?
No, technically, there's a video of him talking about it. I don't think we know exactly why it was dropped. Part of speculation is like Chris is an unreliable narrator, so it might have just been like coerced out of him or something, and it might not actually be true. That's a possibility.
It reminds me of the Boogie thing. It's like I've seen Boogie trying to meet up with little girls and like sending gross pictures and stuff. Like not Boogie. I'm so sorry, Boogie. Sorry,
I was gonna say, holy shit.
I meant EDP.
EDP.
I mean EDP.
Okay.
I was picturing EDP. Sorry, Boogie. I didn't mean.
Big apologies to Boogie. He didn't do that.
Big apology. Boogie does lots of things, but not that.
Yeah, they're grown women.
With EDP, I think the issue is that the guys who did that investigation kind of fucked it up a little bit. So there's something with chain of evidence.
The EDP thing.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are under the impression the Predator Poachers kind of screwed that case up. Dude,
those like long form story documentaries. I don't remember which channel it was on, but I must have spent like a couple months ago, or actually this was when the Chris Chan stuff came out. I must have watched like 7 hours of Chris Chan documentaries, like boning up on my Chris Chan knowledge. Cause the story with Chris Chan, Kyle, Woody.
I did a video. Yeah.
You did a video? Well, then you take it away, man.
About what? Just Chris Chan and his whole ridiculous thing, and then now he's banging his mom, and he's
the mom banging part. That was the.
Wait.
Do you guys know who Chris Chan is?
I need
Kyle and Woody. You guys were like, how are you internet legends and you don't know a fellow internet legend like?
Because I don't give a fuck about anybody that makes YouTube videos.
Because you have a real life and you actually hang out with people in real life.
Don't get carried away.
I mean, that's part of it. I just always kind of thought it was lame. I don't like a lot of. I don't like most YouTubers. Most of the YouTube shit I watch is like police videos and stuff. Like it's amateur stuff.
That's high quality content.
Yeah.
Basically, this guy Chris Chan, lady now, trans now.
Mm-hmm.
There's decades of logging this guy's internet behavior and his like weird. He's like autistic and strange, and he would like. At like college, like he had like weird rules and stuff. Like he would draw comics with his flagship character Sonichu, which is a fusion of Sonic and Pikachu, and it looks exactly like that. And he has a ton of drawings. There's so many comics, and the comics are about like him with his model Play-Doh medallion of Sonichu's face, going around and fictitiously like starting relationships with the women in his life that he wants to get with. Mm-hmm. Because his big thing is like, I want a boyfriend-free girl. That is my sexuality. He made up a sexuality, and it was for men who are attracted to boyfriend-free women, aka women who don't have a boyfriend at the time.
Oftentimes, his like enemies would appear as villains in the comics, and like he would violently murder them and things like that, things of that nature.
He would do wild stuff, and he was a lol cow of sorts. And there's so many years of story that I don't know. There's whole historians of Chris Chan, but basically he went trans and he's trans now, and she had sex with her own mother over and over and over, and was like texting it to someone, saying how like bragging and saying like how it was a beautiful thing, and I touched her down here. And meanwhile, his mother is like 88 years old, demented, has dementia,
full on geriatric. It's bad, and the dad is dead.
It's like,
Have we heard
Debatably
from,
by
hang on. Have we heard from the mom?
She's fucking with it. She's fucking with it.
Like have we heard from her? Like yeah, Chris got that good dick.
No, I think she's mentally ill, like really mentally ill, like bad.
I'm okay with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Here's
shout out Geno Samuel. This guy Geno Samuel has like 60 40-minute like videos about Chris Chan's life. It's really in depth and fascinating.
It is one of the most bizarre rabbit holes to get into. It's something that like you can't watch that much of it at once. It's depressing. Arrested for incest for like sexually abusing her 80-year-old mother or something.
Christine Weston Chandler. Yeah. And she might get put, I don't know what ended up happening, but when I did a video about it, she was possibly getting put in jail with women or in prison with other women, which would be like heaven for Chris Chan or Christine Weston Chandler. It's really fascinating. I know you guys watch TV.
Either
watch
one
news,
of them
whatever.
would love it.
Yeah. I just watch YouTube. So like someone like Chris Chan, that's like, that's prime time.
It is such a bizarre story. I'm surprised you two haven't heard of him.
No, it's like it's kind of like in Pulp Fiction. Remember the little GIMP box that they had the fellow in?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Yeah, how could you exist in there? Like, how long since that guy pissed? Right? Jesus.
I did always have more questions about the GIMP. I was always like, so is he just in there all the time?
It wouldn't work, dude. Like you'd be all filthy and sweaty. Like you'd be all cramped up and like he'd that's absurd that he's just living in that box.
Yeah, he wouldn't live in there.
Doesn't really work.
Yeah. He'd be just too disgusting for like other pawn shop.
I mean, presumably you want to fuck this dude, right? Like, that's the whole point. So you'd want him kind of cleaned up or something. You wouldn't want him just wearing leather in a little box all the time.
Yeah, that would smell bad. Unless that's what they're into.
You want to keep him in the shower all day.
Of course, they did like butt fuck Ving Rhames, so it's not. I doubt they're into,
Yeah, and Ving Rhames had been chasing Bruce Willis all day. There's no way he wasn't sweaty.
Oh my god, I bet he stung. They were all.
That was the other question.
They did hose him down a little.
Yeah. Why were they excited to have the GIMP fuck Ving Rhames? Like, is that what they get off on? Don't you want to fuck the GIMP?
I think they were like they basically were like, oh, our sex party just got more deviant, and then like
they just like rape.
I think the GIMP was a previous customer, and they were going to make Bruce Willis and Ving Rhames into more GIMPs to be living down there. I think they just wanted the GIMP to watch Bruce Willis, which didn't work out well for anyone, I guess, except for Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite scenes ever.
Ving Rhames is okay though, right?
Pretty far.
Well played. I can't believe I didn't see that unfold.
Ooh, yeah, that was rough. As a kid, my heart was pounding. I was like, come on, Bruce, pick a weapon and go. Like, he's pounding him out down there. You got to get to work. I didn't know what he was doing, of course, the first time.
The problem was I always watched Pulp Fiction on TV, and that scene obviously always got cut. So I was like, well, what's going on there? All I know is that he goes down there, and there's something happens, and then he comes back out.
Oh, my.
You never knew. You're just like, something mysterious and probably
something mysterious happened in that room. I don't know what.
Yeah, that was a great part where you're like, every second that you look at different brands of baseball bat, he's being raped. You have to get down there and stop him. And he's like
checking the swing, the balance.
Yeah, it's like, Bruce, you gotta have a sense. You gotta have a sense of urgency here. Like
he's fishing through the golf clubs. Like, I don't know, a driver or a 3-iron.
I'm not. He's like, it's like halfway down the stairs. Nah, goes back up.
Wait, does that happen?
No.
It like is adjacent to what does happen. Like I'm like, do I remember this right?
Yeah, he gets that fucking katana, and it's that's a wonderful scene. That's a good fucking movie.
That is. I need to watch
Pulp
that again.
Pulp Fiction is a good movie. Controversial take.
Yeah. Other good movies.
Deliverance is the other one that has that rape scene that just really was off-putting.
I thought you were gonna like call another good movie, like another hot take.
Another movie.
Shawshank Redemption.
I
think it's good.
Do you know a way to make the Deliverance scene not impactful to you at all? Watch Oz.
Wow.
That rape in Deliverance is a breath of fresh air on Oz.
Good guys win, walk away happy.
I don't know about happy. Deliverance is a great movie. Filmed here in Georgia on the river.
Ooh.
Absolutely. Ooh. It's little local gym made here. Those are real Georgians in there, I'm sure. Even that retarded fellow. My favorite thing is when y'all It's when y'all believe that clearly special needs child was playing that banjo like a maestro or some shit.
Sometimes autistic people can take one look at a whole city and draw all the windows correctly. You know, you never know what they can do.
Like he just plays that one song really well.
He plays that one song
wears diapers the rest of the time. He's like, that's all he's got on his plate.
No, man, one time I was in I forget what it was. I was in some government building, and they had an autistic kids it was autistic adults art exhibit, and I took pictures of this one guy's exhibit. And I think I still have a couple of them where it was just every monster that appears in his dreams, but they're all Timmy Tooth Time, and his teeth can tell you the time. And most of the monsters were teeth themed. And it's autistic guys are not playing the piano, they're obsessing over human teeth and dreaming about weird cartoon characters. Only 1 out of 100 do you get a guy playing the violin or whatever.
Yeah, otherwise you get a lot of anime pillows, I would imagine.
You get a lot of Chris Chans. You get a lot of that,
Yeah.
A lot of guys.
Well, Chris Chan is a bit of an artist.
Chris Chan is what do you call it? I've said that I think the Chris Chan universe is deeper than Eric July's. I see a lot of similarities, sadly.
Dude, the Chris Chan universe is deeper than DC. And I don't know anything about DC or Marvel, but it's deeper than both.
It's got
these two don't know anything about Chris Chan. It's for people who are online so much. I have no idea how you've never encountered Chris Chan.
Describe him in a sentence.
He is
a retarded man who raped his mother.
Oh, I know that guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
It's just.
I was gonna start off slower with the fucking Pikachu pendant, but no, that's what you did.
You gotta go back. You gotta go back to where it really starts. Was he won a Toys R Us Sonic the Hedgehog mail-in contest as a 10-year-old boy. So there's a video somewhere. There's a video of a young Chris Chan, a 10-year-old Chris Chan, going, every day I would send my letter to Sonic, and I won the contest, and I got that. And you're like, wow, you never knew that this young autistic boy and his family's so happy. They're like, oh, he's such a clever boy. You never thought someday he would go on to have sex with his own mother. What a horrible timeline.
There's a lot of plot development in between those things, but there's if you look up the Chris Chan documentaries, there's 50 parts. I haven't watched more than 2 of them, I don't think, but it is bizarre. It is staring into the abyss.
I think I'd rather watch Otter Dynasty or something like that. There's so much. Dude, there's another show. There's a show called Naked and Alone now. It's who fucking cares? It's blurred out. If they'd make a goddamn Naked and Anything show where they were actually naked, I might fucking watch. Who cares if they're blurred out naked? Yeah. I don't understand the draw.
I want one alone, afraid.
And on LSD, but they don't know it. That's what I'd love to see. Start dosing the water with LSD and put 5 guys in a capsule and tell them that they're going to space or something. And
there's too much success in the beginning. They need to make the show sick and starving.
I understand Kyle's
Here's the show I want. Here's the show I want.
It isn't super easy to jerk off to Naked and Afraid, but I like it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I want people. The point is, you have to jerk off to the fear, not the nakedness.
Yeah.
That's how you make it work.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you guys forget about the naked part.
I would like. I don't know why no one has made a show where it's sort of there are horror movies made like this, but why can't you make a show where they think there's been an emergency, the contestants, the people on the show, but there really hasn't. All right, let's say we get 5 people together and we're like, hey, you've won the James Cameron fucking Titanic experience. You're going to get in the submersible and go down. And we've actually built, an underwater facility down there. And your guys are going to get to we're going to couple. And then you send them down there in a fake submersible that just looks like they're going down, and then fake drop them to the bottom of the ocean and make them live down there for a while, thinking that they're stuck on the bottom of the ocean. I'd much rather watch that than any naked in a fucking fake show. Have 5 people going insane because obviously phones won't work down there. They're we're cut off from the surface. Ration the. We were only supposed to be here for 3 days. There's only enough food for 3 days. We got to ration the food. Do that to some people.
I think you'd be sued for causing a.
No, you can make them sign something, dude. Nobody reads.
Dude, I don't know if you can get them to sign something.
Dude, let's do our own.
Nobody reads them. Nobody reads the agreements.
Let's flip the script. We'll do our own show.
So many agreements. Like we'd go somewhere to film, and they'd be like, "Yeah, sign through all this," and it's I didn't bring my lawyer. But what are we gonna do? Go home?
There was a reality show like that, Kyle. It was called The Colony. They took a bunch of people and they put them in this warehouse, and we're meant to believe that they think the world has ended. So they're trying to create energy and clean water and shit like that. Here's the thing. I watched that show and I found it not very believable. And then a few years later, I was in the finals of a dancing competition that took place in the same building that it was filmed. And I realized how impossibly fake it was, how they can see around. They're in a block. There's like traffic and planes and like everything. It was in LA. Like it was in Hollywood. This thing was filmed.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I just don't know why you can't do it for real. Like I feel like people will sign anything if they think they've won a contest, and then you get them there and like, oh yeah, you have to sign this. This is protecting us in case you do anything. They'll just sign it. Everyone signs those. We all agree to that shit, especially if you send it to them on their phone. Oh my fucking God. You send them a PDF 30 pages deep, they'll agree. They're giving you their organs if anything goes wrong. You can do anything you want. And then it'd be, man, I'd love to see people losing their shit for real. But what I don't want to see is fakery. There's this show right now. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it fucking is. It's Ronda Rousey's on it. And her and a bunch of other like her level celebrity. Yeah. And they're like fake in a fake Mars colony. And I don't know, fighting against each other like Survivor, like a reality show. I don't know if we're to believe that they're pretending to be on Mars. They believe they're on Mars. I don't even understand the fucking premise that they're like fake Martian astronauts doing. I couldn't stand 30 seconds of it. It was so atrocious. I don't know what Ronda Rousey's doing there. Everybody on there was just, I don't understand what that show.
Ronda Rousey's not really had. She was supposed to be the next big thing or whatever, and that did not work out at all.
She wasn't popular in wrestling,
or she was in was it the DMX? No, not what is it? Triple X. Mm-hmm. The revival of the Triple X movie franchise. I remember seeing that.
He was in a lot of films.
You know, they should revive DMX.
He's in one of that Sylvester Stallone the Expendables movies. She got a little A-list run there. She did all the talk shows and everything. But then
the worst
lost. That was it.
The worst thing she did was they, for some reason, decided to make her the voice of Sonya Blade in the recent Mortal Kombat games.
Oh, nice.
And you're like, oh, this bitch cannot voice act at all. She's like,
why would you get a fighter?
I'm here to fight you. And you're like, oh, just get an actual voice actor.
That's the same thing as Armageddon when they get the oil drillers to be astronauts. This makes no fucking sense. Why would you get a fight?
Yeah, it's stupid.
Get a voice actor.
I watched one of your furry videos and I enjoyed that one. This was like probably a year ago or so. It like came across my YouTube suggested, and it was like the dastardly deeds of the furry community. And I'm like, all right, I gotta see what's going on here. It was darker than I thought. Are they really? I thought it was gonna be like, oh, they're walking around with mildew in their pants from dried cum at their conventions. No, sinister stuff.
So all right, I love that you have gotten to know the furry community from a normal human being perspective. So I've got some questions, but let me just lay out what I think of them first. I've always thought that it was the most laughable, forgive me, pathetic of all fetishes. It's really lame. Like I could understand being a pay pig. Like, you know, I could understand maybe, oh yeah, doo-doo's so dirty. That'd be so gross.
Like, fucking dog.
You see where I'm going with this, but hang on. Rewind me 3 seconds.
You didn't understand why people like being furries. There are other things you get more on board with.
But then we met our guy in the $50 hangouts that's a furry, and he's got his fucking blue wolf head over there. And before he told me that, I just thought he was a chill dude who's got a cool career. I really like what he does. He works in the movie industry doing special effects and stuff, roughly speaking. And just seems like a nice guy. I like him as a dude, I like hanging out and talking to him. And then he pulls out the blue wolf head, and it's like, shit. I thought that y'all were like degenerate weirdos, like you know, locked away somewhere barking. But so it kind of messed with me a little bit.
A lot of them say it's like not a fetish. I'd say it's probably a fetish like for like 70% of them, or maybe a little more, like a lot. And out of that 70%, it seems to me that like there's a uncomfortably high amount of them that want to have sex with dogs. Not like 70% of furries, but like maybe like 15, which is pretty high.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
If someone told me like 15% of Mormons want to fuck dogs, I'd be like, we got to get this under control, fellas. Like we got to shut that down. What are they doing in Utah?
Yeah, the problem is that a lot of them are like, even if they're not a dog fucker personally, they're okay with other people being into that.
Real dogs? Wait a minute. I think I'm just catching.
Yes, we're talking about zoophilia now.
Yeah.
If the dog's big enough, I'm okay with it.
Okay, buddy. there were
it's voluntary, right? If the guy's fucking a Siberian Husky, a Great Dane, then that dog is down. If the guy's fucking I don't know, a little Basset Hound, he might be unwilling.
Yeah. No, this comes back to the fucking veganism thing. You can't be nice to dogs. Don't.
I am being super nice.
No, you're a despicable animal.
I know that dog.
Oh, you can skin them and eat them, but you can't fuck them, huh? Look at you, Mr. Hypocrite.
Go fuck a scary animal.
Part of the problem with furries is like it's like a relatively tight-knit community, and like some of these people are like con organizers and stuff, and they're like embedded in like the business of the furries. So yeah, I mean it's pretty dark. There was one giant expose that came out maybe 5 years ago or something, 4 years ago, that Mr. Mediker covered intensely about this guy named Kiro the Wolf, who was like a YouTube guy, furry guy, who ended up I think he was fucking his personal dog for like 9 years. And beyond that, he was friends with people he was also, I think, fucking roadkill. And then he was friends with people who were fucking a ton of dogs and were like pedophiles and were like molesting children. A bunch of them, someone went to jail. It's pretty horrific.
I wouldn't even want to fuck near.
Ghoulish.
Yeah. So like, what did you ever have to like take little breaks from those videos?
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Where you're like, this is dark. This is entering my soul, stealing little bits of light.
That shit is horrific.
Have you looked into at all how it sort of intersects with the Clopper groups, the people who sexualize the My Little Pony stuff? They're sort of tangentially connected. You know,
there's like a web of like this like DeviantArt, and then like Sonic fans maybe, but less so. They're less crazy. And then My Little Pony Tails, My Little Pony, and then there's like furries, and like there's some big like Venn diagram you can draw, and then somewhere in there is like the ones that are.
I want to see Knuckles fist tails.
Kyle, I'm thinking about this. I have my own answer. I want to know yours though. Let's say you're with a girl, right? You've been with her for some period of time. You and her have an emotional connection.
Can I answer the question before you propose it?
Sure.
Not only is it no, it's not only is it no, but it's
no with prejudice.
That's among being immoral and gross. It's also illegal.
No. I'm talking about furry. You did maybe I didn't.
Sorry,
right, so this is your girl.
I thought you were proposing we bring a dog into the relationship, and you.
No. You like her. She likes you. You guys are both sexually and emotionally compatible. And then today, instead of surprising you with the fancy lingerie that you expected, she's dressed like a blue Siberian Husky.
All right.
What's your response to this?
What does she want to do? I'd be like, whoa, that looks expensive. Where'd you get it? What's that about? And
she wants to bang.
Okay, Woody, you're my wife now, and you're dressed as a blue Siberian Husky. Whoa, honey, that looks expensive. How'd you pay for that?
Woof woof.
It was expensive. I've had it this whole time. I bought it 1.5 years ago, and it took me a while to build up the courage to show you this. But here I am.
Well, I wish you hadn't.
So all right. So what exactly? Explain the mechanics of this, honey. I'm a little off put by the eyes. I'm going to say, could we put
in the back? There's a flap that comes down, much like an old timey miner's pajamas.
Turn around, show me.
Showing like the way Elmer Fudd's PJs were.
Yes, yeah. It's perfect.
Right? 2 buttons and it comes on down. Okay.
Damn,
and
all
right. And there's slits here so you can get your hands in. We can have quite the experience. Yep.
So other than that, is this going to be like an every time kind of thing, or is this like third Saturday every month kind of thing? Because
it's just every once, maybe every month. And while we bang, if you could call me a good girl, that'd be hot.
Ooh, all right. I got to partake in the fetish, huh? Yeah, I guess I'm on board. I'll do all that stuff, but
you have to dress up also.
as long as I get to dress up as like a zookeeper, or what I'm really picturing is the guy with the yellow raincoat from Curious George. I'll be like, you're a bad little monkey. Like I could do that. Like
oh yeah. I'm into that too.
Yeah.
I think I would put her in a crate and take her to the pound right away.
Sorry, we have to put this one down. There's no fixing her.
She's violent.
But if you asked if a girl that I had been dating for like 3 weeks pulled out the same contraption, I would be outie. There'd
be a boundary you set. No,
I would do it because I want to come back and tell you I did it. But then I'd be like, it turned out. I would be honest. I would be, I didn't enjoy that very much. That was kind of weird. This thing smells, by the way. You're just kind of like in there, like
that's a given.
The candy. I feel like you're a piñata that I'm not allowed to hit. Like the stuff I want's on the inside, and everything else is paper mache. Like this is awful. I really don't want any more of this. And good day to you, madam. And
yeah,
and I would pat her on her muzzle and I'd bounce.
Is that where you land too, Taylor?
That's pretty much where I land. Like I would be unbelievably put off by it, and I agree with you on like the. It's a gift wrapping on something you previously liked, like the naked female body under there, your girlfriend's body. That's what you're interested in, not a undoubtedly mildewy, stinky.
This doesn't accentuate her, and that's what anything she should wear should do.
Even if it's
lingerie or sexy time somehow.
Even if it's a clean outfit, it's like you're dressed like fucking Bluey or like Paw Patrol. Like just I don't.
Now, on the other hand, now let's rewind a little bit. She's not a full on like $6,000 suit furry. She just got some cat ears on and like a tail plug. Then everybody.
Now we're talking.
Right? Or her, her tits are out. She's naked. She's just.
Everybody's down for a cat girl.
Yeah, because it's really just a fucking little head thing. Like that's all there is.
Really I like the tail too.
You like the tail too?
You like it? All right.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. But it's still a woman you're fucking. You're not fucking like a mascot. You're not fucking the Georgia Bulldog.
I'd really be down for it. I've never
the Georgia Bulldog. Fuck off.
Yeah. Like some elf ears. I could be down for some elf ears too.
Are you a Georgia fan, Tom?
No, I don't give a shit. I just thought it was funny.
Jackie's not a furry. We don't do this. But if she was, I would 100% do this for it. To me is a very small ask. Oh, you want to wear this outfit every once in a while?
Yeah.
Fucking where's mine? I don't like if there's I'm not really into blood or
Woody gets into upholstery all of a sudden. Look out.
I'm not really into blood or poop. I don't want to be hurt a lot. A little pinch or bite here and there is cool, but I don't want to like be cut or like too big an impact play. I don't want to be wounded. But shit, this is just like dress up. This is I've said this so many times. If a guy's into feet, ladies, give up your fucking feet.